Hello, loves. Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully we are live on YouTube. If you are jumping on, say hello, whether you are on live or say hello in the comments if you're watching on the replay. My name is Lily Newhouse. I am a business manifestation and mindset coach for CEOs and poker professionals. Loves. Sorry, let me turn this on. Hopefully we are. Okay. We are live on YouTube. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I am so happy to be here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. When you're jumping on, say hello, whether it is live or in the comments. Okay, we're good. I think we're good. We are waiting for Ruthie right now. She's about to jump on. And we are going to talk to her. Ruthie is a coach and healer. She practices Reiki. She does business coaching. She is a badass. She is has crossed 1 million in her business and is on her way to her first $500,000 year this year. So I'm super excited to talk to her. We're going to have a conversation about her journey, about what it's like to scale to 50K months, what it's like to be a mom, an entrepreneur, a CEO, all the things all at once. So here we go. I'm going to let Ruthie on. And hopefully we're good. Hey, girl.
Hi.
Hi. Oh my gosh. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Let me just turn on my light.
Well. We should be live on YouTube. So thank you so much for joining me. I was just introducing you as a magical, beautiful healer and coach. I know you are.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you so much for being here. I know that you have a little one and a business and all of the things. So I really appreciate you taking your time to be here. Guys, show Ruthie some love in the chat and the comments. So
how do I see the YouTube stream?
You don't see it yet?
No, how do I?
Oh, how do I see it? Here, let me give you the link in the chat.
Give me the streaming link. I would love to go.
Ma'am.
Cool.
Ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. So yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself. If you don't mind giving us a little intro.
So there we go. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's to me.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, it happened to me too. I pulled it up and then I was like, oh shit.
It happened. It happened. Cool. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so you want to know a little bit about me. So yeah, I also live in Las Vegas. I live in Southwest Las Vegas. We moved here about 2 years ago. I've got a husband. He's also an entrepreneur. He's an anatomical animator. And I have an 11-year-old and a 4-year-old. And I started my business in 2017. I actually have a network marketing background. So I started with Beachbody in 2023 or 2023. So I've been in the online space for almost 10 years. And, you know, the first like 4 years were really rocky, really hard, really intense. I worked. Hi, Mandy. Mandy is my bookkeeper. And
no way, is she really? I love her.
Yeah, I've actually known her for like a really long time. She went to high school. Well, she went to the other high school in the neighboring town from where I grew up, and our families know each other. And yeah, she was one of my Beachbody coaches. So funny. Hi, Mandy.
Wow, what a small world.
I know. So funny. I actually saw you guys connecting on Facebook and I was like, yes. So I started out with Beachbody in 2013 and she was, I actually used Beachbody to, it was like, I was in a really tough spot. I was a young mom, like 24, 25. And I was just in a really bad relationship. And I had, gotten pregnant and got myself in this situation that was really unhealthy. And I used fitness as a way to cope with the stress of what was going on. And I had so much, like, I built so much love and passion for the like daily grind of like showing up at the gym and like, you know, all the things that like mirrors entrepreneurship a lot, and like
Yeah.
the journey of coming back into your body and getting fit. And I still very much do it. I don't do Beachbody as much anymore, but I'm very much like I'm a fit girl kind of thing.
Yeah, I can
So
tell
cheesy. But so I had made a decision. I was going to leave this relationship. I was going to leave this marriage. And I did that. And the very next day, I joined Beachbody as a coach, and I hit the ground running. And in my first 6 months, I made 30K. And it was awesome and it was great. And then I had zero mentorship, zero support from leadership. And I just kind of had to figure it out. And it was like, I was just really scrappy and like, I'll just kind of figure this out as I go. And Mandy joined my team in like 2016 or something like that. Maybe it was 2015. But I also had like, I had quit my job in 2016 to go full time. And then I didn't have a plan or a structure or a strategy or anything. And I had to go back and I had to get 3 jobs. I worked at Whole Foods. I worked at a burger restaurant, and I worked as a maitre d' at an Italian restaurant. And I started to see like how much it wasn't aligning with me. And I remember feeling so much guilt around transitioning out of Beachbody because I didn't want to leave anybody behind.
Yeah.
But in 2017, I had a conversation with a girlfriend, and she was like, dude, you have so much potential. You have an audience already. Like you spent years building up this audience. People love you. You have like the drive to serve and help people. Like you should start coaching. And I was like, what the fuck is that? What is that? What do you do? How do I know it'll work? Like all that came up, and it was just like a conversation at like 8 o'clock in the morning while I'm making coffee, like getting ready for work. And she's like, you can literally do anything. Like all you have to do is want to help people. And she was like, just throw some coaching packages together. And like, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to like, just toss it together. I'm going to figure this out. And I was like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? She's like, yeah, that's great. And I fucking just slapped some stuff together in a Google Doc and sold it the next day.
Wow.
And I had 2 new one-on-one clients.
Wow.
The next day. It just goes to show you that like trust is everything.
Yeah. Yes. That leap. You have to trust enough.
Well, it's like trust enough. It's like trust yourself and trust your desire to serve, but also your audience has to trust you. And so it's like I always say sales are just an exchange of confidence. Like you're confident in your ability to deliver to the client, and the client is confident in your ability to serve them. And so I know, Mandy, I remember being like, I'm so afraid to step away from this. And I'm like, I bleed Beachbody blue. And it was just not, it just wasn't fun anymore. I didn't like it anymore. It was really, I felt like I wasn't doing enough for my team, and it sucked. I had a hard time, especially because I was so connected to these women and like they became my friends. But now we're all connected, you know, like Mandy's my bookkeeper. It all works out great. And then one of my other coaches joined my mastermind, and like, it's just another chick that I've been working with since the very beginning knew me from Beachbody. And it's just like building that trust and building that authority and building that like relationship with your audience is everything. So I started my business literally overnight, had no clue what I was doing. And then I started developing programs. I sold my first mastermind. And then in 2018, I got pregnant my first year. in business. I actually like quit my job in December of 2017.
Wow.
And then I got pregnant, and 2018 was like my very first year. I hit 100K, and then I hit 100K again. And then ever since then, it's just been like doubling.
Wow.
And like a lot of it is just giving a big amount of fucks about people and like wanting to serve and
yes,
just rolling with it. You know, I talked about this in my program this morning, Ready to Receive, which is like about manifestation and money mindset. And it's like, you know, part of being in the energy of ease and knowing that like everything is working out in your favor is really just rolling with the punches.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like you found ways to like roll with the punches as you evolved, like through your evolution.
Oh yeah.
Right. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm curious. So like, I know I have a lot of people in my audience who are in the early stages of building their business. And you talk so about that trust that you built with your audience. And I find that to be like the people who know, love, and buy from me are the people who trust me and see what I'm capable of. So what would you say was really key in building that trust with your audience?
Yeah. Thank you, Mandy. That's a great question, Lily. I think it's a combination of accepting people and meeting people where they're at.
Yeah.
And not needing them to be further along than where they are in this moment. So meeting people where they're at, which means you meet yourself where you're at, but also Mandy mentioned vulnerability. And I think that I have a pattern of oversharing, but it is a level of vulnerability that is really powerful. And transparency is like, I leave really nothing off the table, but there are some things that I've started to keep sacred to myself. And so it's like, it's a blend of this accepting people and meeting people where they're at to create a sense of safety.
Yes.
And knowing that like so then people feel like they can come to you for anything and you'll always meet them where they're at and call them to rise. But there's also a level of vulnerability that supports that piece, because honestly, I think that shame loves secrecy. And when we're not in this place of being accepting of where we're at and vulnerable and transparent, people start to feel as if we're untouchable.
Yeah.
And unrelatable.
Yeah.
And out of reach.
Right.
Way too far ahead, can't connect.
Right.
You know, that kind of thing. And I see that a lot. And like, so what ends up happening with that is then people place you on a pedestal. And then there's this disconnect that starts to happen. Yeah.
Do you think that people are more likely to hire you when they can relate to you than if you're on a pedestal?
Yeah. Well, I think the longer lasting clientele has always come from the people who love it when I'm real. And then in my experience, the people who've kind of put me on this pedestal, they don't really last because there's so much codependency of like, I need you to help me fix this. And if you can't help me fix it like this and in this time frame, then I'm just going to coach hop to the next person.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think it's, we talk about vulnerability, and I've always felt like the way I build relationships, or at least the way I intend to build relationships in the coaching community, is to lead with vulnerability so that people feel safe being vulnerable there,
Absolutely.
I think that's like something that I've learned, and it's been an evolution for me, and still is an evolution for me, of being able to be vulnerable. Like the first level, I think, of learning vulnerability is being able to talk about vulnerable things. And then I think the second level of vulnerability is being able to show emotion. And so I think I'm I'm still working on the talking about hard things without shame, and then the feeling hard things publicly, like that's even the next level of,
Yeah. I wonder if you could start to talk about hard things and allow the shame to exist at the same time as you're talking, and just start to like notice it and not have to do anything about it, but just hold it.
Yeah. Right.
So like, that's something that I've been like working on myself, is like the shame exists because it's conditioning, and because at the end of the day, all we actually really want is love and connection, and to know that we are accepted for who we are. And the shame is a vibration that exists because we think that we are innately bad, but we're not, but it's conditioning. So it's like, in my opinion, shame just needs to be love, like love. The opposite of shame is love. And so if you can just hold that while you're having to, because I used to deal with this all the time with clients who had massive shame around money, or like shame around choices that they've made, or like, I mean, I've dealt with it in like the past with alcohol and, my journey with sobriety, and feeling so much shame around my choices. And it's like, yes, but the key is to like feel the shame, hold the shame, don't be in resistance to the shame, and remember that it doesn't mean anything about you, actually, right? Because all shame is present for is love. That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got real deep real fast. And I kind of like
right.
it.
Sorry, I need to make sure my computer's plugged in. That's why I'm flipping light switches.
It's all good.
I was doing this, hang on. I was doing this mindfulness exercise this morning that was, it's the metaphor, it's like a cognitive defusion exercise. So it's like when you can't restructure or reframe your thoughts, you can just separate from them, right? So you see they're there, right? But they're not, but I'm not my thought, right? So it was like this exercise where it was like a mindfulness meditation, and it was guided, and it was, you are driving a bus and your thoughts are all passengers getting on and off the bus.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Have you heard this before?
It's actually a technique called noting.
Okay.
Where you're just in the, you're in the practice of mindfulness, and you note what's coming up.
Yes.
It's like clouds passing by, and you just note what's on the cloud.
Yes, exactly. And I was like, okay, like I can take this thought along for the ride, and it can just be there, and I don't have to identify it or let it make my decisions, like,
and that's a whole other layer of work. Right? Like not participating in the thought, not letting that thought take the driver's seat. That's the hardest part.
Exactly. Not participating in it is like a really good way to put it. Yeah, absolutely. It's like when you separate yourself as the observer of your thoughts rather than as the person who is fused with your thoughts, then you start to have a fighting chance against them.
I know. I get that. Yeah.
So I'm curious, what's surprised you the most about your journey in business so far?
I'm surprised I haven't given up with the amount of shit that I've had to deal with.
Yeah.
No, what I think what surprised me the most is just how resilient I am. Yeah. I think for me, it's like, I gave up so much on so many things in my life in the past, and I was just someone who ran. I was someone who, when there was conflict, I would shut down. When I would people please my way through everything. I was kind of like one of those people who had to be the best at everything, and if I wasn't, I would just try to make good with leadership to try to get to the top. And it was like, it was a little manipulative, and I can own that about myself. And that's a part of me. I've just come I don't know. I feel like the resilience piece and how much you discover about yourself through business.
Yeah.
And not only that, but also like how much your business reflects back your family system. That was another really big shocking one. So like how you show up in your coaching relationships often reflects the role that you played in your family system.
Wow. I've never heard that before.
Yeah. So like for me, it was like caretaking, people pleasing, making sure everybody's okay, letting people walk all over me, being
Yeah.
overly accessible, not having any boundaries.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm the baby in my family. And so like that was really like needing the attention, needing to be seen, needing the validation all the
Yeah.
time.
Wow. Wow. What have you found to be the biggest challenge of it all?
Gosh. Um, I would say my biggest challenge is breaking the codependency with my business because um, there's so much like to be celebrated. There's so much good stuff. It's like breaking the codependency so I don't teeter the line of being addicted to showing up all the time just to get those results, you
Yes.
know?
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
And I would say that's a big one. And then learning boundaries has been a really big part of that. And
Yeah.
that's been really challenging, like learning how to say no or set boundaries and like knowing that not everybody's going to like it. People are going to be angry. People will have big feelings. People
Yeah.
might actually have been yelled at, have been screamed at, have been lashed out at. I've been blatantly like just cut off. I've all the things you could possibly think of that could go wrong, I've probably experienced. Yeah.
And there you go. That's mentorship, right?
Yeah, it is. It's like,
Yeah.
but there's so much value in the journey. And I think like that's one of the biggest things that I've just come to love about this whole experience is like I have grown and I've learned so much in the last 5 years, more than I ever did in like college or
Mhm.
in a lot of like, oh my gosh, Samantha,
Hi,
that
Sonia.
name looks so familiar.
Gosh, hello, hello, gorgeous. You
Why does that name look familiar? Do
might
you
have seen
know?
her. She's an accountant or a bookkeeper also online. You might have seen her online on Facebook.
Probably. I'm like, who is she? Are we friends on Facebook?
You will be now.
She probably is. Yeah, we probably are.
Yeah, that happens to me a lot. I'm like, that name looks familiar. Oh, we're Facebook friends.
Yeah, like I think I've seen that name before. What about you? What has been like the big thing for you? The
Oh,
big journey, the big discovery, the like most surprising thing?
I think it's like the self mastery, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like I just had no idea that mastering business would be mastering myself, you know? It's like
Mm.
becoming like the next level version of myself is required to build the business I want. And I didn't realize it was going to be like top down, like let's do like our health, our well-being, our energy, our exercise, our eating, our sleeping, like our like relationships, our integrity, our truth, our like, oh, like what? Like I feel like that, you know, it's like the business is me. So
It's all encompassing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good point. I
Yeah.
always say too that like wealth and success are a full body experience. Like
Oh,
it
yeah.
is, you're right. It's like it's top down and all around.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
really is. And it's not just like one thing. And when you master one thing in business, you're being called to master everything in business.
Yeah.
And I wish that, like, I wish that more people would just stick with it because I think so many people give up so fast
Yeah.
because it is so much. And that's why I feel like the family systems work is so important because having an awareness of how you show up in your business and reflecting that back to how you show up in your family makes so much sense.
Wow.
And having that awareness has helped me like, oh, okay, the reason why I'm shutting down right now is because I'm feeling embarrassed, because I feel called out, because this happened to me when I was this age. So it's
Right.
really actually nothing to do with business. It's everything to do with, my brother wiping his cheesy fingers in my hair and no one telling me and everybody laughing at me. And that's why I don't want to show up on social.
Wow. Yeah.
Right. So like when we
Yes.
start to realize all those things, we actually start to break down the things that are blocking us.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. I find that it's just so much of the work of building success is building a successful version of yourself is really what it comes down to. And I guess that's manifestation, right? You become the version of you who has what you want,
Mm-hmm.
so evolve into the match for what you want. And I know that there are, I often think about that version of me that's next and try to embody her, because I figure if I try to do that, then I'll get to do what she's doing. And
Oh yeah.
so
Yeah.
what's one piece of advice you would give new coaches starting out, or new entrepreneurs in this kind of social media industry?
Oh my gosh, there's so many pieces of advice that I would give. One, I would say design your time boundaries now. Like one of the things that I did right out from the get-go is like I set hours for myself so that I wasn't going to be working all day every day. And this is why like my kids are such a big blessing, but this is one of the reasons why like being a mom and an entrepreneur and having this coaching business was so helpful as a mom, because I had to take care of my kids first, and I had to be done by a certain time to go get them and be a parent. So I really only have this like 11 to 3 or 4 o'clock window to do the work.
Yeah.
So my structure for my business and my time is very set from the very beginning. And then, in the beginning, when I was my very first year, I worked more because I was pregnant, and Liam was more self-sufficient. And when my older son, Liam, lived with us, we would do like 1 week on, 1 week off. So like I had some weeks where I didn't have any kids to take care of. So I had more time to give. So I would create more, and I was more intentional with my time. But when he was there, and then when Logan was born, it was always like, I was basically only working from like 10 to 3 or 11 to 3 ish, somewhere around there. And now it's about the same. It's like 11 to 3, sometimes 4. So build your time schedule out immediately and set those boundaries. Schedule days off. Don't think that just because you're in the beginning of your business and you're building that you can't take time off. You need to take time off, because the energetic endurance that's needed to build and sustain and grow is so important to prioritize. I would absolutely prioritize your health from the very beginning. Make sure you're getting enough sleep and taking care of your body and eating really well. And your mental health, having mental health days, having boundaries with your phone. And then in terms of strategy, like the things that I would suggest are like, if you're in a place to be able to invest in support, but don't put yourself in a position to stress yourself out financially. So like if you're a brand new coach, I would 1000%, if you can't afford a $25,000 package, then take a look at the characteristics of the coach that you are looking into that's $25K, and ask yourself, okay, is this a hell yes? Okay, great. Am I aligned with this person's values? Okay, awesome. Can I afford the 25K? No. Could I make it happen? Yes. Would it put me in a complete state of stress and burnout and like nervous system dysregulation? Yes, then I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. I think because a lot of pressure in this industry to invest, and
right out the gate, invest even if you don't have the money. Put it on PayPal. I don't agree.
Yeah. No, I think it's it can be like, we have to, and that's part of what you're saying, like meet people where they're at, you know, this is not cookie cutter coaches. This is not a cookie cutter industry. And these are real person to person experiences. And,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. And a good coach, like a smart coach, will have a product suite that is designed to have something for everyone at every level.
Yeah.
So that's what I teach my clients. We build product suite. We focus on that because I want them to be picky about who they're working with, and I want them to take their ideal client, but I don't want them, if it is an ideal client, I don't want them to get turned down because of price,
right,
or because it's so out of reach.
Right.
So make sure that, yes, you're investing, but you're meeting yourself where you're at, and you're not putting yourself in a place to like stress yourself out or cause yourself to have to hustle and burn out just to make your payments. Like there's a million coaches in the industry, and I guarantee you're going to find someone who is going to give $1 million and not cost you $400,000 a whole damn house.
Yes.
And then the other thing that I would say is like, don't be afraid to like get really clear on your messaging. Don't be afraid. I think a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs, especially, or people who really live in the woo, you know, like, and rely on the energetics, they have a hard time really clearly articulating how it is they help people, what it is they do, how they help people, and like who they serve, how, and what they do. So I was working with spiritual entrepreneurs. I still do. The thing is that I started talking a lot about clarity and a lot about messaging. It translates into confidence. People can feel that. People will buy from that energy because they feel safe. If that level of confidence translates into safety with your audience. But if you're not clear, you're just going to fucking talk in circles. People are going to feel more confused than anything. So don't be afraid to like really spend some time and even invest in like a marketing program that's focused around messaging from a reputable person. I would say like, I mean, I have a program on called Clarity to Cash, but I might not be the coach for you, but I would just spend some time getting really clear on like, who am I? What am I here to do? Who do I serve? How do I serve them? With what tools? What's my overall, like all of those things, like, because people want to know. And the more that you can market clearly, the easier it is to convert to sales. And you won't have this feeling of like, when is it going to happen for me? Well, most sales aren't converting because of messaging or energetics or strategy or a combination of that. So those are the things that I would suggest for someone just starting out.
Okay. All right. I have one more question for you.
Cool.
I don't know if this is a hard one or not. What do you tell people who are in the phase of building their audience and they're getting crickets and they want to give up?
Ooh. I would say that everybody goes through it, and that even people who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year experience that as well. I would say if you have a cold audience, I would, in terms of messaging, I would spend some time getting really clear, do some interactive stuff, show them who you are, a little bit of behind the scenes of your life. Don't just ask them things about your business, but ask people advice on like your outfit or what to cook for dinner, or if they have a favorite recipe they want to share for this theme of dinner, like that kind of thing. People love giving their opinion and they love dishing out stuff like that. So
just get people to buy into who you are and
yes,
you.
I would say if people aren't responding to you or if they're not buying from you, a lot of it might have to do with the fact that there hasn't been a trust established yet. So we need to build a little bit of that relationship. What is a relationship built off of? Trust, transparency, relatability, and just authenticity, being yourself. And so just show up, be yourself. You can share some of your opinions, ask for feedback, that kind of thing. I ask for people for feedback on this wall.
Yes, I love it, by the way. I have a navy blue
Thanks.
wall in my bedroom.
Oh, it's actually like it's like a really dark teal green. It just
Ooh,
looks
really?
navy blue. Yeah. It's
Ooh,
like
is
a
this your
green
office?
color. See, yeah, it's
Oh
my
my God,
office.
I love it. That's cool.
And then I would say don't give up because so many people go through this. But also, if you're struggling with people to engage, focus on building that relationship by asking for feedback around different things. But then,
Mhm.
if you're struggling with selling to a cold audience, you're going to want to start, I would say, focus on selling group programs and one on one because you don't need as many to
Yeah.
convert into like a sold out launch, right? So like you don't need as you won't you like one on one feels like a big win,
Yes.
right? But if you're selling a low ticket to a cold audience and the trust isn't there, you're like, well, why am I not even converting a $33 masterclass? Well,
Yeah.
the trust isn't there. So
Right.
focus on building the trust, build the relationship, and then go right into selling a group program or a master or a one-on-one
Love
or
it.
high, yeah, like medium to high ticket.
Yeah. Okay. I love it. Thank you so much. I feel like I should have paid you for this time. This is amazing.
No, it's fun. I
This is
love it.
like free coaching for my audience. So I really appreciate you being here, Ruthie. And like,
Yeah,
I just
I love
absolutely
it.
love you. What do you have got going on in your business world right now that my audience
Yes.
can take a look at?
So currently I have 4 spots left here. I'll just put this in our little chat.
Perfect.
4 spots left for my Reiki certification slash business program. And the way that I teach Reiki is very different. So this is a 4-month certification program for people who want to bring all of themselves into their business and learn the energetic strategies and the business strategies to monetize and build a foundation of a profitable business. So it's called the Wealthy Healer. It's all inclusive program. We focus on the how to hold safe space. How here, let me pull up a little bit of notes, but essentially we focus on how to hold safe space. We focus on how to cultivate safety in the container. We learn how to set and nurture and hold the integrity of your coaching spaces, prioritize and set the boundary of safety, the basics to get clear on your messaging, your content strategy, your offer creation, like how to create offers, launching and selling. And then I teach you Yasui Holy Fire 3, level 1 and 2 Reiki. And that can be used as like an anchor for yourself, for your containers, your goals, your healing, and for your clients too. But also, it's how it really is like such a powerhouse modality because Reiki has no concept of time or space. So you can use it to amplify, magnetize, and speed up your manifestations, activate your goals, your launch plans, infuse your social media content, amplify your cash flow projections, basically all of those things. So I teach Reiki so differently. I teach it from like, okay, however it's calling you to use it. I don't just teach and give you all the history and info, but I take you on a full immersive experience with the medicine and I teach you how to build an intimacy with it so that it can master you. Then this whole thing is like how to use Reiki to like expand what's already inside.
Mhm.
So it's a 4-month program. There's like 12 business trainings, and then there's also like 2 live calls a month, a virtual retreat, a 2-day immersive training for Reiki. And then I'm teaching chakra training and a wealth activation training to remove money blocks from the body with Reiki. So it's 5,600 or $6,666 paid in full, or there's payment plans available. And I always meet people where they're at, and I do have extended payment plans, and yeah, so
Awesome.
I'm really excited about that program. And then I also
Thank you.
have a program on high ticket sales coming up soon. So if any of you guys want information about anything, you can always just reach out to me. I'm on Facebook, and my Facebook name is Ruthie Cease, but my Instagram is XO the Rebel Soul. So you can always just reach out. You can add me, reach out, whatever feels right for you.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ruthie. This has been amazing.
Yeah.
You out there, please smash that like button on your way out and leave us a comment. Let us know what landed for you, what you liked, what you hated, what you ate for breakfast, anything you want. It's social media. We're here for the social, right? Let us know how you're doing out there. Thank you. Thank you, Ruthie, so much.
Thank you
for watching, and I'll see you all soon.